not least, is again a lifelong anti-fascist, anti-racist campaigner, the Republican councillor, Gary Donnelly.
I'd like to thank the organisers for organising this event and for bringing such a tremendous crowd here tonight in the Guildhall. As a socialist Republican, I am proud to stand here in solidarity with those who are opposed to recent events and attacks. The media has simultaneously spun these events as paradoxically sectarian, as well as some type of cross-community action united in hate. I have personally been in conversation with members of our community whose families have been contacting them as far away as the US, Syria and Nigeria, worried about their safety here after they have seen newsfeed in their own countries. This has portrayed to the world a false narrative that the people involved in these actions are representative of our communities, whereas in fact they are a minuscule minority. The vast majority of all communities here are opposed to this hateful ideology. This needs to be faced down in a strategic way. For a number of years, I've personally been involved in proper, genuine, inclusive, good relations work in Derry, Belfast, Dublin and further afield. There are a lot of migrants and members of the diverse Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities integrated and proactively welcomed in all these communities. And this includes the unionist community, particularly in my experience here in Derry. The events of the past week have been horrendous and overwhelmingly portrayed. It has portrayed us in a negative light. However, in order to see the true nature of all our communities, just look at the positive reactions on 3 occasions. The residents of the Lower Ormo Road facing down the rioters, the actions of the community in the Falls Road last night, and residents of Sandy Row contributing largely to the financial effort to help those Syrian refugees whose business was ruined. Comrades, vulnerable people, especially young people, are being manipulated and exploited, and this needs to be challenged in all forms. Racist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynist, ableist, sectarian and classist. These are the classic characteristics of hate-filled fascist propaganda controlled by a capitalist system fueled by misinformation. Deprivation and the current economic situation are fertile ground for this type of exploitation by these hate-filled groups, their ideologies and their capitalist masters. This is being externally controlled by a capitalist system with a vested interest in keeping the working class divided and down. Capitalism's insatiable lust for blood-soaked profits that they reap from perpetual wars is one of the greatest factors in creating population displacement, refugees and economic migration. Ironically, comrades, these racists who now complain about immigration are the biggest cheerleaders of these wars. One of the major factors in bringing poor, dispossessed people looking for refuge to our shores. This further vindicates the Republican Socialist long-held position of Irish neutrality and non-membership of NATO. Comrades, we are deluded if we think that governments and their agencies are going to tackle the root cause of all these problems. We need to be proactive in challenging all of this head on in our relationships, families, communities, schools, workplaces, places of worship and sporting, but mainly in the political arena, who are ultimately responsible for the mess that we are in. We need to ensure that we are continually politically educated in order to achieve this. including dispelling false information, especially across social media. Comrades, we must not be predictable and fall into the traps set for us by screaming and shouting online or on the streets, which will allow us to be sucked into a vortex of their making or an echo chamber of our own. We need to remind those who cloak themselves in the false flag of patriotism that the principles of socialist republicanism are never in line with racism or imperialism. No pass around.
Folks, that's it for the evening. I want you all to look right.